Time now is 8:28 a.m. on February 15th. Uh, we are, today is the day I have to submit my USC and Chapman applications completely. I slept from 2:40 a.m. to 8 a.m. and I am extremely sleepy. And that's about 5.5 hours. That's not that bad, really. But I don't know. After a streak of waking up naturally, and then now I'm suddenly waking up by the alarm, it just sucks. It just fucking sucks. Also, I definitely need to sleep earlier tonight. Tomorrow's film 33. I gotta be 100% awake for this. So yeah, tonight I'll try to sleep at 1:30 at most, at the latest. I don't care if I get to see a movie or not. I don't care. Yeah, I had a dream where, I saw Pepper, and Pepper was speaking to another person, a guy, a boy, and I was listening to music, but I could definitely hear her. And I just heard her roasting me, saying that my short films are shit. Pepper said, "Oh, this guy doesn't really know what he's doing. His short films are just really bad. He's a really terrible person. He's obsessive, arrogant, and self-centered." And then we have the founder of the HKOS or something like that, who walks up to me and tells me my short film is bad. It sounds bad, the sound quality is bad, and it's confusing, and whereas Pepper's short film is a lot better somehow. And then Pepper started smiling and laughing to herself, like, haha. It seems as though Enoch is more knowledgeable in film, but somehow I made a better one than him. And I felt really bad, and I felt really sad, and I wanted to die. And that's the dream. It's actually kind of sad, and given that today is the deadline for submitting the USC film school application and Chapman film school applications, just make it worse. It also feels so cold. I don't know what's the temperature now, but it feels like 9-10 degrees. Like outside, it feels like 9 to 10 degrees, and then inside, like in my room right now, it feels like, I don't know, 15, maybe 16 degrees. It's abnormally cold. I'm gonna film a couple reviews this morning after breakfast, which I'm definitely going to eat toast, peanut butter, and banana with the raisin bread that I got from the Geo Market, which I'm excited to try. I'm gonna film a couple reviews, and then at 10 a.m. I am going to leave. Not 10, right? No, yes, 10. At 10, I definitely gotta leave. But I think I gave myself enough time, you know. Right now is only 8:30. So I have like 1.5 hours. So let's say I leave at around 9:45 a.m. It takes a whole ass hour to arrive at the college campus. Maybe even later than that, because you know how. And then 10:45, I arrive at campus. I'm gonna find an empty spot, somewhere quiet, and film the self-introduction video for USC. Yes, I'm gonna film it at the main campus. And then I I thought maybe I should make my accent stronger, because I sound too American right now, and I thought maybe USC would question how international I really am. So maybe I could make my accent stronger and sound a little bit more like I'm from Hong Kong without using broken English. Something like this. it's been a while since since I've used an accent like this, but I sound natural with every accent I try. I can sound natural. I don't know. I really don't know. But Thomas told me to not use an accent because sometimes USC would just randomly call me and I have to sound natural. And also, this is kind of fraud, but then I don't know. I just feel like a stronger accent would help. But anyways, 11:15, there's the photography class. And then that goes from 11:15 to 12:35, and then I have to immediately rush back home. Hopefully, I don't take the wrong bus 17 anymore. And then at 2 p.m., there's John L's audition that I have to attend. They can't find someone else to read the lines for me, so I better show up. And then I originally planned to buy Subway for lunch so that I could have a quick bite and then immediately go to John L's Zoom meeting. And then I thought to myself, A, I don't want to waste more money. B, I actually do have a lot of food, and I don't want to spend my money on, I don't know, on a Subway, like a $12, $13 meal when I can just make food by myself. So I'm going to try to also make lunch really fast. I have an avocado that is in the ripe. It's getting really ripe. I have tomato sauce, I have tomatoes, I have black beans. I have an egg, I have potatoes. I'm going to try something. I want to try something creative. I want to try to make huevos rancheros just for lunch. That would honestly be enough calories. So I don't know, we'll see. And then of course there's USC and Chapman applications. I already sent my Duolingo results to Chapman yesterday, and my mom's colleague sent the letter of rec to Chapman as well. Fuck. I was so worried that Chapman will not send me the confirmation email for the application stuff, because I'm supposed to be able to access my Chapman portfolio at most 48 hours, aka last night at 12 a.m. midnight, and at 11 p.m. midnight I got the email and I was able to access it, and thank God there were no more surprise essays. It's pretty simple, just personal statement, one-page story, and and a creative portfolio, and that's it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna spice up my creative portfolio as well. Definitely. Yeah. Aside from the one-page story and the film treatment for USC supplemental, I'm done with all essays. I'm actually done. I'm gonna export my cloud busting, maybe polish it a little bit. I'm gonna polish my resume a little bit. I'm gonna polish my other personal statements and other essays a little bit. But I'm done. After these two writings, I'm fucking done. And the self-introduction video. So I can definitely make it today. It's close. It's tough. It's tight. It's tight, right? But I think I can make it. My USC and Chapman application, and then after today, I'm just gonna relax. And then 4 days later, I'll have to submit my Long Beach portfolio. But that should be easy peasy. Okay, that should be really freaking easy peasy. So this means please let me sleep tonight. Sleep earlier tonight. Please. I want to maintain a healthy sleep schedule from here on out for the rest of the year. Okay, that's pretty much it. Oh my god, there's so many people. I'm gonna have to try to find a hidden spot, maybe right here, to film myself. I don't freaking know. I'll do it here. Okay, let's go. Let's do this. Self-introduction. I'll do it behind some trash. Hi, my name is Enoch Lai. I am currently 20 years old and I'm from Hong Kong. I am currently secretly filming on my college campus, trying my very best to attract as little attention as possible. For the first 19 years of my life, I have stayed in Hong Kong, and after watching many films, I realized that the world is very big, and that is beautiful and scary and frightening at the same time, and I love it. And in my opinion, USC is exactly the place to go to experience. Hi, my name is Enoch Lai, and I am 20 years old, and I'm also Hi, my name is Enoch Lai. I am 20 years old and I'm from Hong Kong. I am currently secretly filming on my college campus, trying to attract as little attention as possible. For the first 19 years of my life, I have stayed in Hong Kong and Hi, my name is Enoch Lai and I am 20 years old and I'm from Hong Kong. I am currently secretly filming on my college campus, but I'm trying to attract as little attention as possible. For the first 19 years of my life, I stayed in Hong Kong, and after watching many films, I realized that the world is way bigger than I thought it is, and that is scary, daunting, and beautiful at the same time. And I love it. And in my opinion, USC is exactly the place to go to experience that because I can join different clubs, find people to collaborate, and find a lot more things to inspire me. And in my opinion, it works the other way around as well because I believe my contributions can also help other people find their inspirations. So I look forward to coming to USC this fall. Thank you for watching. Hi, my name is Enoch Lai, and I am 20 years old, and I'm from Hong Kong. I am currently secretly filming on my college campus, and I'm trying my very best to attract as little attention as possible. For the first 19 years of my life, I have stayed in Hong Kong, and after watching many films, I realized the world is way bigger than I thought it is, and that is scary and daunting and beautiful at the same time, and I love it. And in my opinion, USC is exactly the place to go to experience that because I can join a diverse range of clubs, I can collaborate with people and find inspirations for myself. And I believe that works the other way around as well because I believe my contributions can help other people find inspirations. So I look forward to coming to USC this fall. Thank you for watching. Okay, time now is 1:08 p.m. Just came back home. Wow, everything went really smoothly today. So I arrived at campus. So of course, a few minutes before I left the apartment today, I checked the transit app to see if I would make it in time. Turns out I have to wait like 19 minutes for bus 17, which is ridiculous because at that point it was already like 10:05 or something. Like I was quite late. So I thought maybe I won't make it to 11:15, and I want to arrive in campus earlier, maybe around 10:45 to film my 1 minute self-introduction for USC. But as it turns out, the app calculated that even if I wait for bus 17 for 19 minutes and then take the bus 7, I will still arrive at campus at around 10:50, which is wild. 10:53, I believe. So I was like, holy crap. So I actually relaxed. I was like, okay, fine. I relaxed myself. I didn't rush. And then I waited for bus 17. I waited for a bit until I left the apartment. And boom, 17 showed up, took it, crossed the road to bus 7. And then bus 7 showed up a couple minutes later, and then boom. And of course, the Los Angeles traffic, yada yada. So at the end, we got pushed. So originally, I can just hop on bus 17 and then Rapid 7. And then the app recalculated it, and it's bus 17 and then bus 7 because I won't make it in time for Rapid 7. But even so, I went onto bus 7, and the calculated arrival time went from around 11 p.m. to 11:05. So of course it's gonna keep pushing back. But at the end, I arrived at around 11:03 ish at the campus, and I have around 10 minutes to film my 1 minute self-introduction video, which is not a lot, but you know what? I believe I can do it. I'm fucking good at this. I'm fucking good at speaking at my phone. I'm doing it right now. I do this for a living. I do this every day. I'm great at this, so let me do this. So that's what I did. So I went to a little sitting area that always devoids people. And then for some reason, something's going on today, and there are a lot of people in the campus today just chatting, whatever. And I was like, well, fuck, I can't film it here. So I went to the science building, the place I took my biology class last semester. Nope, full of people. And then I went to the art department, and there's a little alleyway, and I thought, okay, this is good. And then the moment I was preparing my speech, people started showing up, like art students. So I'm like, fuck. So I went even further and went to a tiny hidden car park beside the art department. And that's where I filmed it. And I thought it's fine. I wanted to sit my phone somewhere so that it would stand so that I could use both hands. But at the end I didn't do that. I just did this, like how I'm doing now. I just used one hand. And that's fine. I feel natural doing this. And it went out smoothly. I did like 4 takes. And then in the final take, it was perfect. It was 57, 58 seconds long, so it's right on time. I did my accent a little bit. I made my accent a little stronger. I smiled a lot. I laughed a lot. I don't want to do too many takes because if I do a lot of takes, then it won't feel genuine. It loses the naturality. I want to laugh, and I want it to be a genuine laugh. So yeah, I filmed the self-intro, and then at that point, it's 11:14. I raced to the classroom of photography 1. By the time I arrived at photo 1, it was 11:17, so I was fine. And then I arrived there, and then it was a different classroom. For some reason, it was around the same building. It was around the same area, but it's just a different classroom. It just looks different. And then right off the bat, I entered the classroom, and for some reason, it feels like there are way fewer people, which is true. That happens usually, like a lot of people drop out after one class. Yeah, there's just way few people. I can't find the Koreans anywhere. Yeah, that's that. So yeah, I just sat down. I sat at the second row near the professor, and throughout the whole class today, I didn't say a single word. I just laughed and smiled, but I didn't say a single word. I wanted to socialize. Somebody behind me and then to my left is apparently a film major. I've never seen him before. Maybe he's a newbie. I'm not a newbie. I'm in 33. I'm basically the senior of all seniors. Yeah. So I didn't say a word. I didn't get to chat with anyone. I was so quiet today. And then class is over. I left, and the traffic went really smoothly. And I'm back home now. I'll definitely be able to make it to John L's audition. I'm gonna try to cook lunch for myself with tomato sauce. Yeah, I'll film a video on it. Fuck it. On the second time. Okay. Like this. Okay, this is gonna be tough. Okay. It worked. Again, I have no idea how to cook this, so just believe me on this, I guess. Let me add some salt and pepper. Okay, I'm just gonna try it. I have like a Zoom meeting to catch. Okay, so potatoes. Let's try the beans and the onion and the... Ooh. I'm satisfied. I have no idea what I've made, but I'm satisfied. Hold on. There we go. There we go. Oh, it's already submitted. Hold on. There we go. USC. Whew. All right. So time now is 8:19 p.m. I'm ready to go out and have dinner. Just to note that I think I can make it. The USC and Chapman University, I have about 3.5 hours left to complete them. I think I can make it, okay? I think I can. Because all I have left to do is really the USC film treatment. I'm gonna have dinner, I'm gonna immediately do it tonight. And that's that. I already submitted my USC Common App, double checked everything, and boom, here I go. You know, weird questions like, what's your favorite book and yada yada. I answered them all. It's funny how a couple weeks ago I was panicking because these questions are insane, but now I can fucking answer them, you know. There's a huge issue regarding letters of recommendation because when I looked at the supplemental application for USC, aka Slide Room, it says that I have to submit the letters by the deadline February 15th for my application to be completed and reviewed. And that basically means I have to submit them literally tonight, and that's fucking impossible. Maybe my mom's colleague will be able to do that somehow, if lucky, but the Italian professor hasn't even started writing a letter recommendation for me, and I won't be seeing him until tomorrow, so it's literally impossible for me to submit them tonight. And that's a huge issue. But I double checked. I went online and asked, or not asked, but I saw other people asking, is it okay to submit letters of rec late? And it's yes, perhaps. And then just to double check, I asked Thomas, and Thomas said, yeah, it's totally okay. They don't really care about your letters of rec. Just submit the application by tonight, and they'll wait. They'll wait on the letters. So I trust his word. So I submitted the USC Common App. I did it, $85 US. Boom, 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 boom. I also finished the Chapman University one page. I am shocked that after finishing it, I didn't go overboard. I didn't overshoot by one page. It was perfectly one page. And the paragraph spacing can be one line, not double line. So that helped a lot. And I just finished exporting the cloud busting 5-minute version of cloud busting. And right now it is currently standing at, guess what? Okay, you can't see it. Shit, hold on, where the heck am I? There we go, right now it's standing at 2 minutes 59 seconds, 0.9 milliseconds. So when I upload it to YouTube, it's gonna round up and it's gonna become 500. And that's exactly perfect. Nothing more, nothing less. I hate to edit this down to 5 minutes because I'm losing a lot of scene, I'm losing a lot of footage. And by editing my short film down to 5 minutes, it makes 80% of the short film a dialogue scene. And actually 85. And again, USC people, they're Hollywood people. They like explosions and green screens and shit. They don't care about dialogue. So I thought to myself, it's lopsided structure-wise, B, it's confusing, C, it's too heavy and serious for USC. They like fun yippee-ki-yay comedies. I can't do that shit. I am a heavy person. So I did some corrections. I tried my very best. I added a little score. I added a little score here, and then I also changed the Lighthouse soundtrack to a YouTube copyright-free suspense sound. But most importantly, I did this. I added fade-ins and fade-outs. so that it would look like the main character goes through a journey of sorts, so that it doesn't feel very cut and dry, like the way I want it to, actually. But yeah, I think it's a good adjustment, and I think it's ready to go. So yeah, the only thing left for me is the writing sample, and then I am absolutely done. I am absolutely done. Let's take a look at my Excel. So yeah, critical essay, got it. Personal statement, got it. So today, other questions for Common App, I basically did it already. Self intro, I just filmed it. One page, I just filmed it. Cloud busting, I finalized it. The resume, I also finalized it. The only thing left is really the writing sample. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna eat the pasta, chicken breast, which is great actually, because both of them are already pre-cooked for me, so I don't really have to worry. And then I will eat, I don't know, cabbage mushroom fried, chicken powder. That's the plan for dinner. All right, here we go. USC, come on baby, USC. 3, 2, 1, boom. Oh my god. Okay. 1 down, 2 more to go. You can fucking do it, baby. You can fucking do it. Alright, film studies, here we go. Film studies, this is for film studies. Here goes 3, 2, 1, boom. There we go. Whew, Jesus Christ. Alright. I was gonna press submit, but then I realized I don't actually have to do that. Yeah, so I'm just gonna fill in the stuff and that's it. I guess I don't have to pay any extra fees for this, so here we go, Chapman. Alright, so time now is 10:49. Oh my god, last 7 days has been real pain in the ass. Yeah, I guess I'm just at this point waiting for Duolingo. I'm waiting for the letter of rec to come through, and then I'm good. Holy shit. Wow, I can't believe it. I really did 14, 15 essays within the last 5, 6 days, and really poured my heart and soul into each and one of them. Wow, I did it. I am not a human being. I don't know, man. I really don't know. So I can relax for a little bit for the next few days. In the meantime, I will continue to rewrite the version. I finally have time to do that. And yeah, that's it. Ooh, my feet. Okay, so the fucking issue is that people are wearing shoes outside of my bedroom. So every time I leave my bedroom, I actually do this. I actually walk like this. I walk with the side of my feet, and I've been doing it for like 4 days now, and the side of my right feet is actually hurting. It's actually swelling and hurting. Just because of the stupid shoes. So yeah, I really hate the idea of shoes in the house. I really detest it, actually. But yeah, I can't believe it. I'm gonna try my best to sleep earlier tonight. Ouch. Also, I am fucking stupid because today my mom checked my American Express app because my American Express card is actually on her name, so she can check it. I can't. And she found out that I paid $8.2 for Amazon Prime and then another $9.99 for Uber Pass, which is stupid. And this isn't the first time. For the last 2-3 months, I've been paying these fees, even though I don't fucking need them. I'm being scammed. So I'm stupid because a couple days ago I remember this and I was gonna cancel my subscription for Amazon Prime and Uber Pass, but I completely forgot because I'm just so focused on uni app stuff. Yeah. I got charged today. So I immediately went to my Uber app after dinner, and for about 20 minutes, even though I'm literally running out of time for my uni app, I was just so fucking pissed at Uber. I immediately went to the Uber app and tried to cancel it. I can't fucking find it. This is the stupidest app design, stupidest app layout I've ever seen. I went to YouTube to search how to cancel Uber Pass, and the layout is different. Apparently, the Uber app on Apple and the Uber app on Android are different. So at the end, I fucking give up. I finally found a manage subscriptions tab in the app, and I found that they changed the name of Uber Pass to Uber One in order to mislead us so that we will have a harder time finding it. And then I found the whole subscription page, and I can't find a cancel subscription button. It's just not there. So I ended up having a live chat with one of the customer servicers, and they said I can't cancel it because it just got renewed, so the cancel button is not there yet. And I'm like, well, when will it be there? When will it be available to me? And then this person was like, you know what? I'm going to ask them to cancel it right now since it's just got renewed today. You'll get your refund, and then in the future you won't have this Uber Pass again. And I'm like, thank you. So that problem is solved. I'm going to disable Amazon Prime right fucking now. Not much else. Michelle spoke to me over Discord asking me if I want to join her and Betsy on a Zoom call about training and job searching team. I don't know what the fuck that is. I want to look for jobs, but I don't know what the fuck that is. So I asked her, what is that? And she said it's sort of like a film club thing, like a small part of film club where we constantly find, systematically and strategically find job opportunities and give them to other students. And I'm like, okay, sure, let's do it. So I agreed to that. Yeah. I also asked Aoba yesterday if she had gotten a response from the media department yet about employment. No response yet. Thank God it's not just me. Aoba's facing this issue too. Because Aoba's the most resourceful person in all of Hokkaido. So, I mean, what can I say, man? The most gaffed person in the entire prefecture. So, yeah. Yeah, that's that. Oh, Jesus Christ. My dinner tonight was probably like 500 calories. It was just some spinach. I didn't even eat the cabbage and mushroom fried because I thought I could save that for tomorrow. So I instead ate spinach with some salad sauce, which is so lame. And then I had chicken breast, which is so lame. And then I had leftover pasta, which is just It's probably like 500 calories. I'm definitely going to have to eat some cake later. I got a cake roll thing in my fridge. I also got some mochi ice cream I can eat as well. Yeah. Alright. Time now is 7:55 a.m. in the morning on February 16th. Oh my god, I feel so cold and I feel so tired. I slept from 1:45 to 7:45 basically. And that's like about 6 hours, but I felt like that was 4 hours or something. Just I need to sleep earlier, definitely, for sure. That's something I've been saying for the last 5 years. But yeah, today I'm going to film 33, which is going to be very exciting, the most important and the most interesting class that I'm going to be taking, not only this semester, but my entire college life so far. I have no idea what's going to happen today. About half of the people today who are going to show up are going to be people that I already know. like Pepper and Eric, as well as people like Carly and Theo. So it's not going to be very awkward. In fact, I'll get along with people very nicely. But yeah, I don't know. I guess the first issue that I immediately thought of is lunch, because I know Eric brings his own lunch usually. Christian's probably not going to be in this class, and Thomas also usually brings his own lunch. And Pepper doesn't, and I don't. So chances are I'll have to go out and buy lunch with Pepper. So that's going to be interesting. Another thing is that Thomas is going to drive me. I'm not going to take the bus this morning. I'm going to take the bus going back home, but I won't be taking the bus this morning. Thomas will drive me there with a Tesla, which is both good and bad. Good because I don't have to worry about getting late. Bad because, I don't know, I like listening to music. I think listening to music in the morning is crucial because it pumps me up. Oh my god, it's so cold, I'm actually shaking. Another thing is, during today's breaks, during one of the breaks today, I will have to find the Italian professor in his office to talk about my letter of recommendation. I'm so glad that yesterday I submitted all this stuff. It's for USC and Chatham University. It was a miracle, but it's still not over because I need the Italian professor to write me a letter of rec. So yeah, and then hopefully tonight I have some time to edit my Japan video and rewrite the version and watch some TV show and finally relax. Even though on the 19th I'll have to submit something, the Long Beach portfolio, but that should be easy. That's just one essay and one video, and that video is my Bloody Valentine. I'm good with that. So yeah, that's it. That's all for today. Low-key excited. I'm also really cold and tired right now.
With a school film?
Alright, so that was film 33, guys. I got a few things to talk about, but I'm gonna go to get a Subway first. Alright, my hair looks like a book. Time now is 3:06 p.m. Let's talk about what happened today. I have Subway cookies over here. So, right off the bat today, I woke up at 7:45. I slowly woke up. I slowly did my thing. I put on my clothes. I was supposed to meet Thomas at 8:20. But because of some traffic issues, Thomas said he'll be a bit late, so he ended up outside of my apartment at 8:35. I got out of my apartment, went into his Tesla car, and we went to pick Pepper up. Apparently, Thomas asked Pepper if Pepper wants to a ride, and Pepper also said yes. Again, so Pepper doesn't really hate me. If Pepper does want to avoid me, then Pepper would say no, I guess. But anyways, so we went to outside Pepper's apartment. We waited for like 2 minutes. Pepper showed up. She's like, hi. We're like, hi. And then we continued on. And it was kind of awkward at first. We didn't really have anything to say. But you know what? I'm gonna apply some of the acne healing juice on my face. Hold on. Alright, you see no difference, but I actually applied a layer of mandelic acid on my face, so that's gonna be cool. Okay, anyways, we arrived at the CMD at 8:52-ish. And before I arrived, I went to my phone and I basically checked the name list of the people in film 33 again, just to double check. and it's, I don't know, I know it's creepy, but it's also really cool to see the list of names on Canvas on the app, and then go to class and then see those people. It's like a little opening credits, you know. But yeah, I arrived. Thomas parked the car right off the bat. We saw the Trinity Gang. So the Trinity Gang is basically a gang of 4 people, 2 white girls, 2 white guys. One of them might be a Latino. I can't tell, but they are a gang of friends who are really close to each other. And it's been a while since I've seen them. Last I've seen them, it's in Film 31. All 4 of them are super friendly to each other in Film 41, and they're kind of a gang. And they're like, "Hey, Thomas." So that's that. So we went into the building, and we were a bit nervous. We went inside the studio, and boom, tons of people are already there waiting. Contrary to my belief, a lot of people actually showed up. I mean, I know a lot of people would show up, but I didn't know a lot of people from my Film 32 would show up. So Leia, the Czechian girl, showed up. Birkin, the Turkish guy, showed up. And they were sort of sitting in the back. And there were so many other people. So Carly, the Korean, Japanese, American girl, ethnically half Korean, half Japanese, but really is American girl. She showed up a little late. Liana, the Russian girl, she also showed up a little late. We have an Indonesian girl by the name of Amy. When I first saw her profile picture on Canvas, I thought, okay, she's Asian, but then her name doesn't sound Asian, so she might be Filipino or something. Turns out, according to Thomas, she's Indonesian. So yeah, she's the second Indonesian I've known in this program. Another thing is just a bunch of people. Red, the white guy who's really tall, who's really energetic and talkative, acting club president. Theo, the film club president, the egotistic Italian man, he's here. And a bunch of people I've seen before are here as well. Just the list goes on, basically. So I sat at the very edge of the class, at the very right side, and right beside Thomas. And then, boom, the Mexican professor shows up. This is the second time I've seen him, or the third time, actually. Man, my hair really is an open book. Oh my god. But yeah, this is the third time I've seen him, but this the first time I've heard him say so much and have him as my professor. And I've opened a door for him once, and he was like, but he probably forgot who it was. And I was masked up, so he wouldn't have been able to know. Yeah, so nobody was wearing masks, other than some people in the front row. Like Yulia, the Russian girl, was there. Jake, the guy who was, like, in my Film 32, he's here. No, his name is Tyler, not Jake. Fuck. I don't know where did Jake come from. I must be confusing him with the Jake from Film 33 last semester. Yeah. Nobody wore masks. A majority didn't wear masks. Thomas looked at me and Thomas was like, "You're not gonna wear a mask?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not." And he's like, "Okay. Never seen you do that." Okay. But yeah, I wasn't really particularly worried. You know, the first few times I didn't wear a mask, outside of my apartment, the first few times, I felt a little uneasy. Like, should I be doing this? I feel naked. You know, I feel naked in the mouth. Because I'm just so accustomed to wearing a mask. But 5 times, 6 times later, I start to get used to it again. It's just like the olden days. So yeah, that's basically it. I mean, for real, I've been alive on this planet for 20 years, and then in the last 3 years, I've been wearing masks, so it's literally 3 out of 20. So that's literally like 12% of my whole life. That's quite crazy. Not to mention that after I was born, I probably had to wear masks too, because of the SARS, or circa 2003 and 2004. So I've been wearing masks a good chunk of my life. But yeah, essentially there's that. I digress. So throughout the entire class today, our professor, the Mexican professor, he basically introduced to the class what's happening. He just sat down and talked to us the whole way through. And yeah, he's very long-winded. Every time he gives an answer to a student, he's very long-winded, but he's also very well-spoken. He's very strict. He's like the opposite of the Italian professor. The Mexican professor, first of all, the Mexican professor is a big boss. He is above the Italian. He's above the Indian professor. He at some points in the past, the Indian professor and the Italian professor were also students of him. So that's crazy. He's very experienced. He recalls his past work in Film 33 and how it usually goes. He goes through the guidelines that he sent to us in an email, and he also gave out some hard copies. And he just went through point by point, don't steal, be nice to each other, here's what we're going to do for the script. So the script is due 2 weeks later, exactly 2 weeks later on March 2nd. So I haven't even started writing on it. I'll start writing it tonight. But it's due 2 weeks later. It cannot be longer than 10 pages. And it has to be simple, no additional supplemental information, no fancy images. Don't write emails about the scripts prior to March 2nd because everyone deserves an equal chance. And he's very clean cut about the rules of the class and how it's going to go down. We got to get funding. We're going to find the right people. We're going to plan out the shoots, when the shoot will roughly be, and how long does it take for the whole thing to completely finish after the post-production. Usually takes about a year, sometimes shorter, like 5 months. And he just talks about how he's taught in USC and he's taught in LA Film School and he's taught in other places and how it goes down, and how in our college, because it's not really a film school, it's just a film program in a community college, we need a lot of supervision by instructors. We need to follow a lot of guidelines, get permits. We need to really follow the protocols. But he also encourages us to get creative with our scripts, write whatever we want. Don't set limits to ourselves too much. And that's pretty much it. But yeah, he's really serious. He's really uptight. And he does joke around a little bit, but just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. For the most part, he is serious as fuck, and we all stay extremely quiet when we listen to him. So anyways, we have a break at around 10:50. Actually at around 11 p.m., 11 a.m. And I was like, holy shit, it's a break. I have to go see the Italian professor right now. So I literally left the building, went to the other side of the same building, and went to the Italian professor's office. Thank God I know where his office is. So I went outside of his office and I can hear music and I hear a woman talking to him. So I waited. I stood outside for like 5 minutes and I thought, this woman sounds familiar. It's Betsy's voice. So at the end, I can't wait any longer. I knocked the door and Betsy opened the door. Yes, it's Betsy. It's her. And it's also the professor. And it's a nice little office with a vinyl record playing Pink Floyd. Like playing, I forgot what song was it. It's been a while since I've heard Pink Floyd, so I couldn't really tell what song it's from, but it sounded like Echoes or something. It's not Echoes, but it's from that era. But yeah, essentially that's. I think it's Time. Yeah, I think it's playing Time. Yeah. And the Italian professor is here, and I was like, oh, I'm here to talk about the letters of recommendation. Again, I don't want to sound like a nag. I don't want to sound like a nuisance, but I really, really wanted to, come on. The deadline is yesterday. Come on. Of course I'm anxious about it. So the professor was like, okay, I'll go out later to meet up with this Mexican professor. You can talk to me later. Like, I'm in the middle of something now. So I'm like, okay, so I left. So me, Eric, Pepper, and Thomas formed a little circle and we started chatting. And we also fist bumped a bunch of other people because that's how Americans do it. Jonathan, the fat Latino, I hate calling him fat as if it's like an insult. It's not. He's a really nice guy who knows a lot about sound and he's really funny. Uh, again, Theo probably fist bumped me like 3-4 times today. Like, come on. Zach showed up and I was wearing my detective coat and Zach and Jonathan saw it. And Zach was the first person to point out, wow, you're dressed so fancy, you dress so nice. And I don't want to be embarrassed by it because it's good. And I purposefully wore something lavish and extravagant just for the first class because I want to make a bang of an intro, So I'm like, yeah, I wore this, I'm dressed for the occasion, And Jonathan was like, wow, you're dressed like a Wong Kar-wai character. It's like you're going to bust out a cigarette and start smoking. Oh, with the sneakers too, with the Nike? Oh my God. So that's that. But I'm going to dress a lot less lavishly next few weeks. Because this detective coat, you can't wash it. It's one of a kind. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I spoke to Benny a little bit because I know he's very good UPM. I want to talk to him about possibly sharing the role of UPM with me because I think UPM is the best role for me. I was almost like a sociopath. Like, I immediately talked about like UPM, and then when Benny showed up and started speaking to me and Thomas, I quickly changed the conversation topic to be about UPM so that I would have Benny talk about it as well. Yeah, Benny's nice, and Benny told me that he and Red are actually teaming up to write the script together. And the script is about this guy struggling with OCD, and it's a very emotional, humane script or whatever. And they even got a non-profit organization to fund them for this script. Holy shit, it's a huge operation. But it also sounds really boring. I mean, no offense to Benny and Red. They're cool, but damn. Like, that's such a boring idea. I would prefer Thomas's idea over theirs, even though Thomas's idea is just this ridiculous spy thriller with lots of explosions and sex. Like, not a lot of sex, but like it has, innuendo scenes. So Thomas's one will probably not get made as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Surprisingly, David the Swede isn't here. But yeah, not much else. After the break, we went to the big auditorium to watch a couple of things. We watched the trailer for the Mexican Professor's feature film, which is released in 1999 or 2000. And it was quite impressive, even though, like, of course, compared to my favorite films of all times, this is like nothing. But I've never been taught by a guy or anyone who's made something like this. So, this is next level. And then we saw the promo video for our college's film program, and then we saw Leaving the Factory, which is a short film made a couple years back in 2020 spring when the pandemic hit. That was when the short film was made. And it's a short film that this college made, one of the Film 33 classes, and it's about a bunch of Italian-American female factory workers doing a strike. And it's such a fantastic short film. It won an award created by the Russo brothers, who are the directors of the Avengers and whatnot. And yeah, it's alright. It's an alright short film. But then again, if I was able to be a part of a short film like this, I would be pretty impressed myself. But then as a critic, it's meh. As a filmmaker, yes, I would like to be a part of something like this. Maybe something more exciting than this, but yeah. So funny, the main actress is Roberta, who is this really annoying, bitchy woman who, on the set on WoW, who was like complaining that the fire exit is blocked. So that's kind of funny. And then I was looking at the end credits. I'm just trying to look at the names and see if there are anyone involved in this project who are someone I know. I don't know anyone, other than, of course, the names of the professors. But Suddenly I see a Hong Konger name. A Hong Konger name because it has an English name and then a Chinese name attached to it. If you see something like this, that person is either Hong Konger or Taiwanese or Macanese, I guess. But what sets this different from a Taiwanese name is that it's in Wade Giles, and that's a English translation, English transcription of Cantonese that only Hong Kongers use. Because in places like Guangzhou, they don't use Wade Giles, they use Pinyin. Wade Giles or Wade Giles. Okay, but anyways, LAM. That's a Hong Konger's last name, you know. In Mandarin it would be LIN. In Malaysia and Singapore it would be LIM, lim, but it's lamb. And I'm like, holy shit. So when we left the auditorium and went back to the studio, I spoke to Pepper. This is my first time actually speaking to Pepper, by the way. I'm like, oh, there's a Hong Konger's name in there. Oh yeah, Pepper spoke to me earlier today in the morning when I and Thomas walked into the building. Pepper was like, I really hope I get into this class, but then I don't know if I can change it. My UC application thing, I have to change my, my academic history then. And I'm like, it's fine. I changed it like 3 times. And she's like, really? Fuck. Like, she swears she's at you. She's like, she swears in Cantonese all the time, which is one of the better things about her. But yeah, I spoke to Pepper. I was like, oh, there's a Hong Konger's name in there. And guess what Pepper said? Pepper said, oh yeah, you mean Lamb, right? She's my secondary school alumni. And she's studying in USC right now. Probably studying USC film. How am I hearing this right now? What the fuck? She knows another Hong Konger who studies film in LA? That is such a huge fucking deal. So she's never mentioned her name to me before. Completely 100%. Wow. She should have told me. I mean, I'm not mad at her. Maybe Pepper and this woman aren't really close. But they probably are. Because how else would Pepper know? I don't know. But, bruh. I could have gotten so much help when it comes to applying for USC and whatnot. I mean, I also could have gotten help from John L. And John L. did help me, in fact. And over Instagram DMs, we talked about it a little bit, but damn. So many hidden Hong Kongers. So we have this woman who's studying USC, probably film. And then we have this other Hong Konger, I don't know the gender, who is supposedly in my photography 1 class. And neither of them exist. So many Hong Kongers who are just not there. And I'm only hearing about them. So, yeah, I don't know. I just want to know more Hong Kongers, really. I know that's such a naive thought because we're in LA. But I just, you know why. You fucking know why. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then class is over at around 1:30 p.m. And I thought we're going to have a lunch break and then we're going to come back. But honestly, there's not much else to talk about. So we didn't have a lunch break. The Mexican professor just let us go back home. So that's what we did. We went back home. And Thomas was like, oh, you want a ride from me? And I was struggling because I kind of want to just take a bus and listen to music and just look at the views and be all moody and stuff. But then if Pepper takes the ride and I don't, then it's all awkward. And then Pepper's like, oh yeah, sure, ride, take me back home. And I'm like, okay, fine. So Thomas drove me back home. And he dropped off Pepper and then he dropped me off. And after Pepper left, Thomas was even like, does Pepper hate me? Like, why is it so awkward? I didn't even find it awkward, but Thomas found it awkward. But yeah, I guess there was a bit of awkwardness in the air. And then that's it. And then we just went back. I went back home. Before I went back home, I walked to Subway to buy a foot-long sandwich, the Outlaw sandwich with a steak and bacon. And then I also got it with a couple cookies, but without a drink, which is a little cheaper. And that is, including tips, $18.7. Are you fucking kidding me? 18.7. That's even more expensive than Shake Shack. So yeah, it's ridiculous, but it's really filling for some reason. Like, these sandwiches are so filling, and I feel full as fuck right now. One more thing would be the Trinity gang. They were all very friendly towards Thomas. Like, they smiled at Thomas. Thomas sat right next to me, like to my left, and then behind me is the Trinity gang, all four of them. And they were smiling at him, and they were looking at Thomas all the time. And one of them, his name is Jaden, he was even like, "Hey Thomas, what's up? It's a long time no see." And it's weird because Thomas is not the kind of guy who would have a lot of friends. And then I started to get this feeling that the Trinity gang is only acting really friendly towards Thomas because they're laughing at him. When we were at the auditorium and the Mexican professor was like, "Oh, unlike other professors, I have actually made feature films before." And when the Mexican professor said that, Thomas was like, "Ooh," he physically said, "Ooh," as in, "Ooh, roasted." And I also, in response, I also said, "Ooh, roasted," jokingly. And then I heard the Trinity gang behind me laughing, saying, "Ooh, Thomas said ooh," and they were just like giggling. So they're definitely laughing at him, and I totally understand why. Thomas is just so like goofy and not in a good way, in a very unaware way. But yeah, I'm glad I am not the goofy one now. Back in secondary school, I'm the one who's the joke. I am just a joke guy. Nobody takes me seriously. And I'm not even the class clown. I don't even exist. But whenever I do, I'm just a joke. But I'm not. People do respect me in some ways. So, that's pretty cool. I also feel pretty powerful because I went to the Italian professor's office and Betsy's in it, and I could immediately tell it's her, and she's like, "Hey, what's up, Enoch?" And she was also holding a Roger Deakins book that she got from the Academy Museum when she saw Roger Deakins, and she's like, "Oh, if you want, you can read it." So I took a look at the book, which is really cool, by the way. Benny showed up, and Benny was like, "Hey, what's up, Enoch? Thomas? It's been a while. How's your winter break?" And Pepper's just there, probably thinking, "What the fuck? Why does Enoch know everyone?" And then, I don't know, Theo showed up, and Theo was like, "Hey, Enoch!" and hugged me. And that's like, Pepper's probably like, how do you, Pepper knows I know Theo, and Theo knows me, but how the hell do I manage to know so many people and people act so friendly towards me? I don't know. I really don't know. But but yeah, that's that. I'm pretty powerful actually. So yeah, that's it for today so far. So it's a good thing we got to leave early because now I have a whole afternoon for myself and I can just relax. I can really, really relax. I can sleep earlier tonight. I don't have to wake up by the alarm tomorrow. I can just lay back, edit some videos. Of course, I have the Long Beach portfolio to work on. Of course, I have to work on my Film 33 script right now. Of course, I got some college homework, but those are pickles. Okay, Film 33 script is important, but Long Beach is important too, but nowhere near as monstrous as USC. So yeah. Oh yeah, about the letter recommendation. So the Italian professor left his office and went to the building, and he's just busy. He's going somewhere. He saw me and he's like, Enoch, just write me a letter." And I'm like, "Okay," even though I wrote him a letter 3 times already. I hope he reads it. please read it. So that's that. Yeah. And I don't want to be a nag. I don't want to sound like a nuisance. I don't want to be a nuisance to my Italian professor. But I'll also be seeing him every Tuesday. If he is legit a student in my Photo 2 class, I'll be seeing him so we can still get to know each other and be close even then. So it's going to work out. Yeah, that's that. But yeah, I don't feel nothing from Pepper. She sat in front of me and I could honestly care less about what happens to Pepper. Pepper was probably also pretty shocked that I am also in the class. Legit. Like, I'm not just crashing it. I'm so glad that I'm actually literally in it. Because of some sort of glitch. Because of Eric. So, I feel really powerful. And, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He dragged Thomas there and hid behind there because of me. Where it happened. And like those seats near like the student center building, like literally right across?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. No.
Okay. Do this. Huh. Holy shit. Oh my god. I fucking use this to I squirt this. I squeeze it. And then bah, cha, cha. Look at this. Alright, time now is 10:14 p.m. Let's wrap it up today. I have more news and thingamadoohickers to report. So yeah, film 33 today is quite something to be talked about. I, of course, being the good person that I am, of course, after film 33, I immediately reported what happened today to Michelle, because Michelle is like drama central. She knows all the drama, and if I tell her all the stuff I know, she'll tell me all the stuff she knows, and then I become a drama central as well. So essentially, Michelle told me things that I never really expected. I don't know why, but whenever I look at people, they just act so normal. But then I always hear rumors about things going on that just doesn't seem like they make a lot of sense. This time around, it's about how Michelle and Theo got into a fight. They argued or something. It was the last Friday for film 32. It was the last day for film 32 for Friday, and by that point my film 32 is already over. Like, we did the final exams and everything. Like, we didn't even have final exam. We did our final shoot. Film 33 happened. It ended. But for the Friday class, they still have one more scene to shoot. So on the very last day, it is Benny's Schindler's List. And so on that day, Michelle was watching how it's going down. And of course, Theo and Betsy are in the class as well. Michelle made a joke, just a joke, saying that, Theo and Betsy are like dating, But it's a joke because Betsy and Theo don't really like each other all that much. Or at least they have had arguments. This is why Michelle was like, actually, Theo and Betsy are like an old couple, an old married couple who are sometimes okay with each other, sometimes arguing. Theo heard this joke and was really, really offended. He got serious and he started staring at Michelle. Which is really weird. I've never seen Theo serious before, and it sounds really scary. Because Theo is just the kind of guy who's like, the moment he gets angry, it's like, it's over for some people. So I can, it's scary. And then suddenly, Theo grabbed Thomas by the arm and walked away and had a secret conversation somewhere in the CMD campus. Michelle saw them, and then Theo looked at Michelle saying, "Can you respect us? We're having this private conversation." So Michelle walked away, like, where is this attitude coming from? A little bit later, Michelle went up to Thomas to ask him, "What's going on? What is this secret conversation you're having?" And Thomas told Michelle that apparently Theo was only telling him that, I proposed a script and made a scene and it went wrong on that day because, Drew, the other guy, the staff professor and the Italian professor, they're not treating me well. So it basically means nothing. So basically Theo dragged Thomas to the side to have a private conversation with him to talk about nothing important. So Michelle was kind of confused, like, what the fuck, is Theo playing tricks on me? And on top of that, Theo also went to the Trinity gang and started whispering secrets to them and laughing or something. So it's really weird. Fast forward, later in the winter semester, Michelle took a painting class at the main campus. And somewhere outside the student service center, where there's a little sitting area, Michelle's hands were full of paint and she was listening to some music and she was sitting down and resting. Suddenly, Theo came out of nowhere and walked up towards her. Before this moment, there were so many other moments in CMD and in the main campus, I guess, where Michelle sees Theo, but Theo immediately runs away. But for some reason, this time Theo approached Michelle, and Michelle thought, okay, he's up to no good. So Michelle said, no, and immediately walked off. A little bit later that night, Betsy texted Michelle saying, Theo actually wanted to apologize to you for being mean. And Michelle was like, what? So Michelle texted Theo, and Theo was like, I come in peace, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. So the thing is resolved. But yeah, the whole thing is really weird. It's just really weird gossipy drama, which I love, but it's also kind of funny how it went down. Theo's almost like a cartoon character. And also, after Michelle made that joke, you'd think Theo would go to someone who is more powerful, who is more dangerous, but the first person Theo grabs by the arm is Thomas, which is fucking hilarious because Thomas is like the last person I would go to if I would want to have a very serious conversation because Thomas is also kind of a cartoon character. No offense, but that's true. So that's odd. I told Michelle how quiet Theo is today. Michelle's like, oh, that's weird. So I called Michelle for like 1.5 hours. And then we continued to talk about things. And then we mentioned Cliff and how Michelle wants to expand her army of husbands. And Cliff would be the fourth husband. At first, a couple days ago, Michelle told me that neither Cliff and Eric are her husbands. But now Michelle has accepted Cliff as the fourth. So apparently on Tuesday or something, Cliff showed up at the cafe in CMD. And at that point, Michelle was on a Zoom call and Cliff and Betsy talked probably about the editing of the short film that is WoW. And then Michelle was like, shh, quiet, I need to hear this. For some reason, Cliff maybe misread the situation, but Cliff walked up to Michelle and grabbed Michelle by the arm. What the fuck? Cliff, I've never seen Cliff act like this before. I don't know what's going on, but Michelle's like, what? Okay, like, just go. So Cliff just left. Don't know what's going on. I literally just spoke to Cliff. I at some point while being on the call with Michelle, I was also texting Cliff over the Instagram DMs. So that's that. And then finally, one last thing was, there was this film club, film festival thing last semester at the auditorium, and the audio equipment failed big time. And it wasn't terrible, but yeah, it didn't go super well. After that, the Italian professor told Betsy, who was responsible for organizing this, that the Mexican professor is on a war path against Betsy. What the fuck? It wasn't even Betsy's fault. It is the auditorium's fault. Apparently, the Mexican professor wanted to screen one of his short films, or like leaving the factory on the big screen, but because of the audio issues, he couldn't. So now he's being really petty. So Michelle warned me, telling me to really get on the Mexican professor's good side and don't piss him off. Don't mention to him that you're the vice president of Scriptwriting Club. Don't ever do that. Don't even mention the word club. Apparently, many years ago, there have been some sort of drama between the Mexican professor and the Italian professor about clubs, about filming on campus. And anyways, something happened, and the Mexican professor doesn't want to have anything to do with clubs. So given that the president of film club, the president of acting club, the president and the vice president of Scriptwriting Club are in Film 33 right now, is like walking on thin ice. If anything goes wrong, if the Mexican professor finds out, we're screwed, and the clubs are ruined. And the next thing Michelle told me is about Benny. So I told her Benny would be my competitor if Benny also wants to be UPM and I want to be UPM too. And Michelle told me that Benny is actually a really bad UPM because he's disorganized and he's always freaking out about running out of time. And Michelle asked me if I could actually do it, and I told her, like, first of all, time management, that's one of my strongest skills. Holy shit. The fact that I managed to pack my luggage a few hours before the plane ride to Japan and actually succeed. The fact that I can write 14 essays in the last few days for USC Chapman. The fact that I was able to pull a short film off within the last week of being in Hong Kong means that I'm fucking powerful. Michelle asked me if I crack under stress. Hell no. Maybe I do, but I'm literally from Hong Kong. I'm a Hong Konger. I'm born stressed. I'm always stressed, so I will never crack. Also, I'm so organized it's almost obsessive. So Michelle's like, good. So Michelle described me as a fluffy marshmallow, which is a good thing, I guess, but it's not exactly the image I want to radiate. But I guess I smile a lot and I act all awkward, and my conversation style is very soft. Like, I don't provoke people, so maybe that's why. But yeah, that's that. Okay, let's continue. So anyways, fast forward to dinner time. It was like 8 p.m. I want to have dinner. So that's what I did. I didn't do anything. I didn't edit I did edit some Japan, but yeah. So I had dinner and I hear some voices outside. Turns out it's Candace, the white woman roommate, with, I guess, her boyfriend, who is a light-skinned Latino boy, kind of muscular. You know, your average Netflix hot guy. They were cooking something in the oven, you know. So I wanted to cook. I'm hungry as fuck. So I went outside and I asked, is it okay? And they're like, sure. And I asked, how, like, you know, when will you be done? And the Latino guy was like, instantly. So I cooked my rice and then I went back to my room again to edit for about 15 minutes. Went back out. By then I've already changed my clothes and I cooked. And when I was cooking, the Latino guy asked me, like, Candace told me his name, I told my name, and then he asked me where did I get the rice cooker, and I said my aunt bought it for me from Amazon, and they're like, oh, Amazon. And he asked me, can I make yogurt in it? Because on the rice cooker it says yogurt is one of the options, and I said, no, I haven't tried. And then he asked me where am I studying and what's my major? And I said, oh, some college, film. And then Candace asked me, oh, so you're applying to CSUN, right? And I'm like, yeah. Apparently Candace received a mail, a huge mail from CSUN to me, and it's a huge mail. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And then she said she works at CSUN too, and I'm like, what? You work there as a college admissions officer or something? I don't know why that's the first thing that came to mind. I've been applying to colleges so much lately. And then she said, no, I'm the water polo supervisor or something. And I'm like, oh, interesting. So that's that. Finished dinner. I made an Instagram story about submitting my application to USC, saying that my life expectancy has been halved, has been reduced to half. And then 5 people liked my story, which is crazy. Justin the Malaysian, Leslie the Chinese girl, Crystal the orange-haired Chinese woman, Macanese Chinese woman, Carly liked it, and then JT liked it. And I thought, do they think I got in? Because I submitted. I'm not admitted, okay? And then a little bit later, Crystal, the orange-haired Macanese / Chinese woman, told me she's taking Film 7 and Film 2 with the bald professor, who is my second favorite professor in this college. You know, I really, really love him. To be fair, the Indian professor is also bald, but this one is the bald white guy from Hawaii who's really well-spoken and intelligent, whom I took film history with last semester. And I'm like, oh, that's great. And then we had this pretty lengthy, good conversation about the film classes of this college. We talked about his film choices, and I said I'm in film 33. She said she's in film 7 with the Mexican professor. And I said, oh, I'm taking film 33 with the Mexican professor right now. And then she said she's thinking whether to take a film production class or not because she's more of a film studies person. And I said, oh, that's interesting. I also applied to USC Film Studies as a second major. And then I told her that USC script writing forces students to take 4 years there, meaning that if I go there, I'll have to take 7 years in total. And she's like, what? Jesus. And then she talks about how you don't actually have to study writing, just write it yourself. And I'm like, yeah, you know, the only B I got is from Film 20, which is beginner screenwriting. And she's like, Jesus. That's that. That's all there is today. I forgot to mention that I smashed a cockroach to death at the kitchen. I used the oil bottle, and the moment I smashed the cockroach, the lid of the bottle popped out and I squirted a bunch of canola oil onto the wall. So instead I used the salt, and I hammered it like 10 times. It's 12:49, I'm sleepy, I don't have time to watch House of the Dragons. I'm just gonna go to bed. Good night.